Who is the crazy guy that likes Sava on YouTube? Joe Springer? Is that his name? Springer? Oh my god. This fucking guy. Multi-baggers club. You guys have to watch this guy.
Karuna Therapeutic.
You have to watch this guy, ironically. Seriously. Look at this multi-baggers club. This guy's fucking amazing. 4,000 subs. 700 videos. Jesus Christ. He's got... Look at... What's wrong with him? Like, what the fuck? Bruh. Multi-bag holder club. He's got a Substack. He's got a Twitter. I feel bad. I feel bad making fun of him, I guess. But look at this shit.
Karuna Therapeutics got taken out for $14 billion, a small molecule pill neurological drug, even with an Alzheimer's bent. And that has given us an incredible look at what Cassava is dealing with when it reveals its data and gets taken out itself. And so Karuna, we got blessed with Karuna, just exactly so much like Cassava. And as we're just thinking about data and thinking about a takeout and thinking about valuations and planning ahead, we got to take a close look at what happened with Karuna, the timeline, the things they faced, to see what's coming down the pike.
No one was ever bearish on Karuna. None of their employees ever got arrested. Their CEO never resigned. Their CEO had prior successes. Their drug worked.
Cassava, and it's interesting and good news. Let's dive in. Let's dive in and see this thing, what Karuna teaches us about Sava. First of all, we've looked at this. We looked at every big pharma and every deal they did in a previous episode. This is just a quick snapshot from that. But look at these small numbers, 64, 48, 137 million. There are buyouts that small, but these are partnerships. There are not big partnerships. So the idea is there are small takeouts and there are huge takeouts and everything in between, but there are not huge partnerships. So here we have 64 million, 40.
Do you like how he shakes his head like a little kid? Not. Just so you know, this means not.
Partnerships. There are not big partnerships. So the idea is that there are buyouts that small, but these are partnerships. There are not big partnerships. So the idea is there are small takeouts.
He did it.
And there are huge takeouts. And
the best part is he did it
Cassava,
twice. He did it twice.
And it's interesting and good news. Let's dive in. Let's dive in and see this thing, what Karuna teaches us about Sava. First of all, we've looked at this. We looked at every big pharma.
Wait. You said he has more viewers than me? He's got 4,000 subs, dude. Some of his views, he's got 900 views.
And every deal they did in a previous episode. This is just a quick snapshot from that. But look at these small numbers, 64, 48, 137 million. There are buyouts that small, but these are partnerships. There are not big partnerships. So the idea is there are small takeouts and there are huge takeouts and everything in between, but there are not huge partnerships. So here we have 64 million, 48 million, 137 million. But when Karuna got bought out, it got bought out for 14 billion. There's no $14 billion partnerships. This Cassava's, we're going to in the end say much better than 14 billion. So Cassava is a takeout, as we've said, all the way, not a partnership. And by the way, as we've been saying, it has to be after phase 3. It was never going to be before. They've got to see the data because Cassava's got no reason not.
Yeah, I had to make a brand new account. I didn't even stream for a year.
Not to go for top dollar. And there's no way, once we look at the price tag of this thing, that Big Pharma is going to pay that much without seeing the data first. So it's a takeout after phase 3 data. And it does not have to be after the second phase 3 data, just after the first trial comes in, Big Pharma will have a look at it.
Well, he already said that Mossad was involved and that Big Pharma is trying to stop Cassava for some reason, even though 90% of Big Pharma doesn't have an Alzheimer's drug. There's literally only 2 Alzheimer's drugs. big pharma's desperate to buy one out. So like, why would they stop? Like, I mean, it's so stupid. Like, how dumb can you be? Like, none of these companies, other than Lilly's the only one, has an Alzheimer's drug. But then you have the rest of big pharma, which is like 20 companies that are like, yeah, we'd want. Why would Why would we go through the effort of illegally sabotaging a drug we don't give a shit about? Is Novo Nordisk sitting there like, yeah, I know we make diabetes drugs, but fuck that one company. I know there's 2,000 biopharma companies, but you know what? That one drug company that this guy cares a lot about, nobody else cares about. All of a sudden, I care. Everyone cares about it for no reason.
And if this is the first real treatment for the biggest unmet medical need in the world,
Dark pools.
At least some of the big pharmas are going to make a play for it right away. The bidding will begin. It will not wait for the second trial. Okay, so this is a takeout all the way. Let's look at the timeline of Karuna. Karuna got released its top line data on August 8th, 2022. And let's not be surprised. So if Cassava, maybe in December, releases their data, maybe on that same day, because I'm expecting good news, let's not be surprised when they also do a raise on that same day. Did the raise hurt the stock price? Of course not. So here is August 2nd, 3rd, 4th. So there is the jump on the release. So let's get a few things from this. So in the end, Karuna was taken out for 14 billion. So that's 329 or 330 up here. So beforehand, before the data, Karuna's hanging out around 130 or around 5 or 6 billion. So around 40% or so of the end. So for Cassava, we should be, and I expect and hope as well, to get a fraction of our end takeout value before the data. It's going to be tough if we're hanging out at 1.5 billion to then jump up to tens of billions. And I expect us to go up a lot before the data, but then shoot up more after the data. So they were hanging out around 5 or 6 billion and then jumped up. So they were getting around 40% of their end value, end takeout value before the data. And then on the data, it released and it went up to 244, and that was the day they raised. And then it went up to 257, and then 262, and then 263, and then 278. And that's like 83% of their final takeout value. And then they had weakness and some other events that happened along the way that we will not have. And so you can see their weakness was de-risked right here, and then it started shooting up, and that de-risk also led to the takeout. So this shot up, but this weakness, I'm expecting shoot up and then stay up and go up higher is what I'm expecting.
Of course. Because
we should not have this. This weakness is related to a risk that they then de-risked that we should not have. And also they got rid of their CEO, and we already did that.
They don't have a patent.
Okay, so August 8th, they jumped 50% and then more on the data, but they were already up to about 40% of their final takeout value. Before that, jumped as high as 83%. And then let's say they kept around two.
The guy's like 1,000 shares, and he's acting like he's running the show.
Third. So if they ended up going out for 330, 220 is right here, and that's about the average of the high and the low. So they kept about 2/3.
I love how focused he is on Karuna. It has nothing to do with Cassava.
Of their final takeout value. So if you're looking to make some moves after data, what kind of valuation should you be looking for? Think about a final takeout value. Maybe 2/3 is a good. If you want to make a move before a takeout after data, might be a good one. If you want to de-risk somewhat. But you should stay in for the takeout. It's going to, in my opinion, we're going to get taken out. And then the next thing that happened after the August 8th data release is their CFO sold. CFOs are famously conservative. They don't like risk. You know how you spot an outgoing CFO? They look at your shoes when they talk to you. Haha. But CFOs are accountants usually. And accountants don't have a rock and roll reputation. This is typical. De-risking, not want to take risks. CFO sales don't count. He shouldn't have sold. And when Eric sells, We should not be scared.
Very cool.
And then the next thing that happened was in December. It seems that they wanted to get taken out after data, and their CEO couldn't get a deal, so they ousted him.
No.
Now we already ousted Remy, and I killed Sanford
No, there was some like controversy there with the guy.
as well. On top of that, they brought in a CEO, recovered a little, taken out. When they showed it's not going to be a takeout and languages and low prices. It's growing in the U.S., growing phase 3. It's worth 20.2. Well, we saw that when Biogen and Lilly were reporting just okay data, and then millions of 60 billion divided by 50 million shares.
Oh my God.
$1,200 a share. I like it. $1,200 a share. That's what I think we're at. That's with good data. That's what I think we ultimately get. So, and there should be a bidding war after our data is released. And then they shoot right up and get taken out. And then, by the way, just, people also ask, what happens when they get taken out? So it goes up to near, I guess the takeout might have been 330. So it went up to, 317. So there's the arbitrage of, some regulator could step in and say, and block the deal or whatever. It could still fall through. So you don't get the whole thing right away. And the offering for, they're going to change the name to Investors Club again. And it got tons of offering I'm going to be rolling out over the next, say, 6 weeks or so. So great.
Like, why would you do this? Is this guy getting paid by some moron? Look at this one. This one's even funnier. Oh, he's not red at all in this video. He's fine.
Board members and shareholders, thank you for taking the time to listen to my open letter. I got a lot for you.
Listen again.
Hello, Rick, executives, board members, and shareholders. Thank you for taking the time to listen to my open letter. I got a lot for you. Let's dive.
My man, you're on YouTube. You're not addressing a board of directors.
Dive in. Rick, welcome to your CEO-ness of Cassava. You've been with the company for a long time. I'm so glad that you're now in charge. Thank you for taking charge. Thank you for having the guts to take charge. And thank you for probably also leading the charge to get new leadership in there, which I think, as you will see, is more than sorely needed.
I did DM him and tell him we should do it for the culture. Let's see if he responded. Is this him? Did he defollow me or something? Let's do a bull versus bear for the culture. A debate on YouTube.
You try to get treated fairly.
Maybe I would pay him. I'd pay him $1,000 to do it for the culture.
Here is the 4th time Remoxy got rejected.
Oh, here's the
So
he goes into a deep conspiracy. It's pretty great.
successful at making a ton of money over at Sarepta. He's been in the business a long time. He founded Eastbourne a long time ago, worked with Sanford Robertson before that. So he's been very successful for a very long time, risking his own money, taking personal risk. And I'm not surprised at your willingness, Rick, my friend. Getting personally involved in the boards of companies whose prospect I believe in is what you've been doing, taking risks. I have chosen to devote my time to Cassava's mission, and I want you to understand why. Wonderful. Now I'm going to start to take exception, my friend, in a nice way. So this is a nice sentiment, but I think you don't actually feel this way. Taking on this current challenge is not about making Cassava's share price go up or trying to silence the company's many loud critics, the many loud skeptics. Those things will take...
Like, literally, this guy is trying to, like, explain, the new CEO is saying, running Cassava is not about trying to force the stock to go up or to silence a critic, which it's not. It's about running the business. That is literally the job of CEO. It's to run the business. The stock price is just going to do what it's going to do. You can't force it to go up or force it to go down or anything, right? It's just going to go up or go down as it sees fit. It's a market. You can't control it. And silencing the skeptics or critics that's not your job. Your job is to make the best medicines, sell them, develop, research, etc. Right? You can't sit there and fight skeptics for no reason. But this guy, so he says, like, very reasonable, like, look, those things will take care of themselves. But this guy goes apeshit because of that statement, because he thinks he's in a war. He thinks he's in Iwo Jima. Where's Shkreli? Where's Shkreli? Oh, Kitty, I'm sorry, Kitty. I used you as a prop. It's not a fight, dude. It's just trying to make money. That's it. Blaine, your job as a CEO is not to promote the stock, right? Come on. Good CEOs don't do that. They focus on the business. And he's saying all the stuff you're supposed to say. If you create great benefit for your patients, you create great value for your shareholders. It's that simple. Yeah, that's right. Right? That's the job. Make money for the patients. Make great drugs for the patients. Make money for the shareholders. You can't go on YouTube or Twitter and make money for shareholders. Right? That doesn't generate sales of your product. It may make your stock go up briefly, but it's all a Pyrrhic victory and it's in vain. So the guy just goes apeshit when he sees this. Watch.
Take care of themselves. Make me scratch my head a little. If you create great benefit for patients, you'll create great value for your shareholders. It's that simple. That is a nice platitude, my friend. But you yourself know that that's not the case.
I'm not playing with you. I want you to get the tinfoil hat on, and I'm turning red as we speak. So you better fight these shorties, because now I'm getting pissed.
Rick, this is from 2006, where you were your company that you founded, Eastbourne, was the second largest shareholder, only to Remy, who would have received shares from the company. So you are the number one brave risk-taking investor. And you've seen yourself what happens when you try to get treated fairly. Here is the fourth time Remoxy got rejected. So Remoxy, we had the opioid crisis. This is the second time Cassava is going after a major epidemic with a long-shot drug that looks good. Against all odds, they did it twice. And the first time they did it, they came up with this non-abusable opioid that would have saved so many lives. Nevertheless, it got rejected 4 times because of corruption, because the powers that be, like Purdue, were making...
Whoa. Remoxy got rejected 4 times because of corruption?
Non-abusable opioid that would have saved so many lives. Nevertheless, it got rejected 4 times because of corruption, because the powers that be, like Purdue, were making so much money on...
Wait, Purdue is the power that be? Purdue? Hold on a second. I'm trying to figure this out for a minute. Let's get some dates here. Purdue bankruptcy filing. Okay, when was that? 2019. Okay. And they were in huge trouble before that. massive, issues, right? Fourth rejection in 10 years. Woof. So you're telling me Purdue is Purdue is controlling the universe for some reason, even though OxyContin's generic at this point, right? OxyContin generic. Let's put this all together. Right. Well, let me see. I know how to do this. Pretty sure I'm a drug expert here. Let's take a look. I mean, this is just so retarded. There's the original OxyContin. I guess it's on a REMS system. Is there no therapeutic equivalent? Let me see. There may not be a generic. Well, anyway, Purdue goes bankrupt. I don't think so. I can't find it. J&J made Duragesic. Usually it says therapeutic equivalence here. If there was a therapeutic equivalence, like usually it'll say somewhere here that there is a generic, but I don't see it. And there's 2 OxyContins, so it's a little... because they pulled their old one and put out the new one. I can look offline, but regardless... Yeah, it has to be extended release. And it doesn't look like there is an extended release. Yeah, he is in Shkreli Court, but he's never showed. Yeah, I have to do a new push today.